Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 choices of what you can sow from seed right now in July in almost any climate and still get a harvest. So that means we're going to be focusing on heat lovers and plants that go from seed to harvest in around 60 days or less. Let's jump right into the first one, which is summer squash. My rule of thumb is to sow a second sowing of summer squash, especially yellow squash. Zucchini gets by a little longer. But you sow that when the first fruits come on your first sowing. So right now, my yellow squash is starting to fruit, but yellow squash seems to give up sooner or succumb to disease sooner than zucchini squash. So when that first sowing is fruiting, sow a couple more seeds and you'll have then a successive harvest throughout the rest of the summer. I also want to share with you a space-saving technique for squash like zucchini. Typically zucchini will start off, you plant it at one end of the bed, and by the end of the summer, it will kind of have snaked its way through the bed, the leaves dying all along the whole length of it, and then it'll be fruiting at the other end of the bed. It takes up a lot of space. So the first thing you need to do is always keep the older leaves of zucchini trimmed off. So as soon as they start to show any yellow, brown around the edges, any sign of mildew, I clip them off right at the main trunk. Now, you can, as the plant grows, depending on how fast or slow it grows, you can sow seeds along that stem. You don't have to leave the whole bed empty because you've got that blank stem going through it. You can sow some other things there. You can sow a second sowing of yellow squash there. But another great thing to do is grow it vertically. And we're not talking about vining winter squash. We're talking about things like zucchini. I grow mine up a stake. Not only does it save space, it gets the leaves and fruit off of the ground, which saves it from pests and disease. But I also like doing it this way because we're in a time of a declining bee population. And pollination is a big issue, especially with squash plants. So growing the plant up a stake gets those flowers up in the air at the eye level of the bees. So it lets pollinators see them. So you'll get a bigger harvest from that one plant just by doing this. I'll leave a link in the video description and at the end of this video for more detailed video on how to grow your zucchini up a stake. My second choice is beans. Rabbits ate my first sowing, so I'm planting some seeds here and I'm protecting them. Now, typically I don't succession sow beans. If you water your beans well through the summer and harvest daily, they should grow and produce through the entire season. Especially pole beans, sometimes bush beans, depending on the variety, will give up, so a second sowing might be necessary. But if beans are allowed to dry out, you're going to start to get a die-off at the bottom of the plants. And when that happens, the main stem starts to get brittle and has a really hard time taking the water and nutrients from the ground and pumping it up to the rest of the plant. And so typically what you're going to get is a slow death of your beans where they're just going to start to turn dry and brittle. Also, beans' main goal is to produce seeds. That's every plant's main goal, not to feed you and your family. So if you allow beans to stay on the plant, to develop in the pod, and especially to start to dry out, the bean plant is going to think, I've done my job, I'm done. And that's the end of your bean plant. So to keep beans producing, not only keep them well watered, but keep harvesting every single day. I harvest mine when you can barely see the little bumps of the beans in the pod. It gives you a tender bean to eat, but it also really cuts short that reproductive cycle and makes that bean plant keep pushing out more and more beans for you. My third choice is cucumbers. Now, you may already have some cucumbers growing. I know I do, but cucumber plants, they get weary very quickly. And a lot of times you think, well, I'm just going to spray more or fertilize more or, give it more water. And that doesn't work. They start to dry up, they get disease, they get mildew. It's so much easier to start a second sowing of cucumbers as well. And again, I will do that once my cucumbers have started fruiting, and they grow fast, from seed to harvest in 55 days. Cucumbers grow best in well-draining soil that has lots of organic matter like compost. Select a spot in your garden that receives more than 6 hours of sunlight per day. 8 hours is preferable. And definitely keep them moist. Another trick, similar to the beans, is to never allow a cucumber to get yellow. If you allow that to happen, that means the seeds have formed and the plant will start to give up its immunity and allow itself to be attacked because it's done its job. It's produced its seeds. So harvest as often as you need to keep the cucumber fruit itself from getting yellow. I got to tell you about the sponsor for this video. Now, you guys know I don't have a lot of sponsored videos, especially on this channel, because we get sent a ton of products and we really only choose the ones that we love and actually are going to continue using, or we have been using for a while. And a huge reason why Real Link is the sponsor of today's video is because without them, I might have missed one of the most important events that's happened here on this homestead. And that is the birth of clover. And you guys would have missed it too. Joel and I installed 2 Real Link cameras, one here and one over there. And they tipped me off because I would check on them. We knew that Daisy was getting close to her due date, or on her due date actually. And I noticed while we were away that she looked different. Something was happening. But I could look it up on my phone. I could see everything that was going on. I could hear what was going on. I was like, there's something happening. We got to get home. These cameras are 4K, full color, night vision. They have great sound as well. So when I turn them on, I can see and hear everything no matter what time of day it is. There's also a memory card in there, so I can pull up video from days and weeks ago if I need to. Joel and I set these 2 cameras up in about 20 minutes, both of them. They are attached with a wire to a solar panel. Now, they have regular ones that don't need a solar panel, but for me out here, I had no electrical hookup. So both of these run on the solar, and they've run now for over 2 months perfectly. There hasn't been one issue. Whenever I want to see, I can just pull it up. There was no issue setting it up. It picks up Wi-Fi way out here, which a lot of things don't. So I'm going to leave a link or 2 down below. They got Prime Day deals going on right now with up to 50% off. So this is a great time if you've been thinking about security cameras for your house. This is a great product and a great time to get a good deal. Now, we have these out here strictly for the upcoming birth. We'll be moving these now to the house so we can have security around the house. Might leave 1 down here and put 2 up on the house. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I love the product and you will too. Number 4 is okra. Now, my family is from the South, and so I grew up eating fried okra. Number 4 is okra. Now, my family is from the South, so I grew up eating fried okra, and I still love it to this day. I also love growing it. It is so prolific, and the flowers are beautiful. But keep in mind, it does not like to be transplanted. So sowing the seeds where you want them is the way to do it. I am putting them in here where I just harvested my onions, and I'm going to space them about 2 feet apart, 8 hours or more sun. The more sun, the better, and as much heat as possible. I couldn't grow okra very well at my last house where we were closer to the beach, but here it does really well. And they do like really rich, moist soil as well. They are a little bit more drought tolerant than some of your other vegetables, but you really don't want to let any vegetable in the garden dry out very much. And you'll want to pick it when it's small, about 2 to 3 inches. Any longer than that, and the pod starts to get very woody and dense, and it's just not good eating at all. And that can happen in like a day. It can go from 2 to 3 inches and perfect to very fibrous and tough. You don't want that. So daily harvest of okra is ideal. And sometimes in the South where it's really hot and humid, it might even be necessary to harvest twice a day. Number 5, 6, and 7 are warm weather herbs like basil, oregano, and thyme. These heat-loving herbs take off really quick and grow fast in this weather. Basil is an annual, and as you know, it keeps tomato hornworms away from tomato plants, which is why I always plant a row in front of my tomatoes. Keep the tips pinched off, and that keeps the plants bushy, but also it keeps it from flowering, and once a basil plant flowers, all the leaves get bitter, and you don't want that if you're using it for cooking. Thyme and oregano are perennial to zone 4, so you can plant them now, and they will grow fast. You'll harvest in no time, but they'll also keep going for several years. These two have no special needs. They're drought tolerant. They don't have any type of particular soil. They'll grow in almost rocky, gravelly conditions. Number 8 is Swiss chard. At this time of year, in most climates, it's almost impossible to grow lettuce. So if you're looking for some kind of green to grow, Swiss chard is a great option. Put in now, it will grow fast. You can keep harvesting it. It will grow and grow and grow. And it is not only heat tolerant, but it will keep growing through the frost. And in milder winters, it'll grow right through the winter. I'm sowing these about 12 inches apart, and chard grows big and can be harvested very often. So I'm only going to sow one row here, about 7 or 8 plants. They're not particular on soil either, but they don't like to dry out. And so, as with everything in my garden in the summertime, I'm mulching. I use pine shavings or pet bedding, but you can use about anything that's natural and will break down. Pine needles, straw, cardboard, newspaper, grass clippings, leaves. They'll all keep the moisture in and the weeds down. Number 9 is sweet corn. Now, there's an old saying, knee high by July, but I think it depends on where you live and how quick growing of a variety you have. In most places, July 1st, the first week in July, is still okay to sow some corn seeds, sweet corn. If you're in a shorter growing zone, there are 2 varieties that produce faster. Early V is the earliest to mature at 58 days, and Seneca Horizon matures in 65. Sow the seeds 1 inch deep and about 8 inches apart. You want to sow the seed in blocks, not one long row, meaning 4 rows wide at least. The reason for this is that they are wind pollinated. The wind blows the pollen from the tassels at the top to the silks on the ends of the cobs. So if the wind is blowing this way and you've only got 1 row of corn, it's going to blow the pollen from the tassels over onto your squash or tomatoes, which will do nothing for your corn. But if it's in a 4 foot by 4 foot block, when the wind blows this way, it's going to blow some pollen onto the corn next to it. When it blows this way, same. When it blows this way or this way, the same. They all get pollinated. And keep corn well watered. It cannot dry out. You'll know when corn is ready to harvest because the silks will turn a crispy brown. You can peel back some of the husk and stick your fingernail in one of the kernels. And if it pushes out a white liquid, it's ready to go. If it's still clear, it could use some more time. Number 10 is a companion plant that is very underrated in the garden, and that is Cosmos. It's one of my favorites. I like it because of its growth habit. It gets a couple of feet tall, but the plant isn't a thug. It doesn't push anything out of the way. It just kind of meanders its way through the leaves of almost any other plant, even big squash leaves. If you deadhead it, it produces flowers from spring all the way till frost. Sow the seeds all over the garden and it will reward you for years to come. It self-seeds readily, but is not invasive. So those are my 10 choices to start in July. Again, if you want to get more detail on growing squash vertically, summer squash we're talking about like zucchini, click on this video right here and I will see you guys next time.